Hello guys and welcome back to another upload on the channel. So today, I forgot to bring you guys, but I took a trip to the junkyard and completely struck out. So today we're going to be doing all the stuff that we do have parts for, like the exhaust. I did go to Harbor Freight and picked up a slide hammer and a plastic welding kit. We're going to see if we can't get some of the studs in the back here straightened out a little bit with the slide hammer, and the plastic welder is for the front bumper. We got some, I don't remember which side it's on, but there's some plastic pieces in the back that need to be just plastic welded. Yeah, so I completely struck out. So I'm gonna do another evaluation of our radiator support and see just how bad it is, where it's broken, if it's even necessary to replace it, because I haven't been able to find one. So we'll see how that goes, and I think that's pretty much it for what we can do today. If we're able to straighten out our studs here, we will be able to build the back end back up, which would be awesome to have this all back together. Like I said, we can clean up, use the other taillight, put that back together. So if we can get these studs straightened out, this back end we can throw back together and finish that, and then we can focus on the front end a little bit more. I think that's how we're going to do it today. We're going to start in the back and work our way to the front. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time and let's get to it. So here's the set from Harbor Freight. It's just the cheap set, number 63609. It comes with a 2-pound slide hammer, a bunch of different attachments here, but we are going to try this attachment, which looks like we're supposed to put a nut, or depending on the application, in our case a nut on the end of it, and pull with the nut. So we're going to give that a try. And if anybody has ever used a slide hammer, how you hold it is crucial, because if you pinch your fingers in there when you're doing that, oh my, talk about the biggest blood blister you've ever had. So just be careful if you're using that. Comes with a whole bunch of attachments. Some I'm not really sure what you would do with it, or how you would use it, where it's applicable. But let's give this one a try. I do have to find a better nut that will fit, because we cannot use plastic nuts for this, because clearly the plastic nut will be far weaker than the metal. So we need to find a metal nut. If that means I have to run to the hardware store or whatever, I will do so. But I got a bunch of stuff laying around, so let's see if I can't find something. Alright guys, so I remembered that when I was at the junkyard, I took the little plastic nuts from the parts car in the junkyard, and so I thought, if I break one, big deal, I'm gonna give it a shot. So if you tighten these down on the end of this, they seem to hold up pretty well, and it seems to be helping. So that's what I'm gonna do, because I have spares, so if I break one I don't really care. So we're gonna see how far we can't get this pulled out. It may take a little while. I may put a little heat on it to kind of help it a little bit, but I'm just gonna fiddle with this for a little while and see what I can't come up with. Alright, so just a little bit of hammering, and we've got 1.5. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Well, either way, you can see most of this stud, so we'd be okay. This one's pushed in a little bit still. You can't really see that one. And then we've got that stud and that stud. So we are 90% of the way there. I'm just gonna see if I can't get this one pulled out a little bit more, just enough to put a stud on it, or put the nut on it, and then we are gonna we're gonna test fit the bumper and see what it looks like. If it looks good, we are going to button this up and call the rear end done. So let's see if we can't pull that one out just a little bit more, and then let's test fit the bumper. Alright guys, so it didn't take much more to, let me grab a light for you guys. Battery. What did I do with my flash? So it didn't take much more, and you could easily get a nut started on that. No focus here. So with that being said, we're gonna mock this up and see what we end up with. So we got it all test fit. My only concern is this giant gap here. You can see the bracket in the back, and that is because, let's see if I can get some light on. When you go to push, there's a little clip that's supposed to catch that hole in the middle, and it's just sitting a little bit too high. So I want to try something. Get these unscrewed here. I want to try something. I think, just by looking at this and the way that the damage is, this fourth screw that I tried to get on right here is pulling the whole thing back. So I'm going to take that off and see how it changes the behavior of that bracket. I think I can get away with just 3. I don't think that fourth bracket makes a difference, or fourth nut makes a big difference. So I mean, you can see it in the part right there. So I'm going to take this one off and see if I can't get just a little bit more cooperation from this bracket. As you can see it, it's tilted because of that. So I think if we take this off and let this bracket relax a little bit, we will be in much better shape. So let's give that a try. And I need to change the battery to my GoPro because we are at 1%. So I will be right with you. Alright guys, so I was running into a problem with this piece, and even on the other bumper that came off a car that wasn't wrecked, there's a little tab underneath here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. There's a little tab under here that's supposed to catch in the center of the bumper. In this hole right here. That's supposed to catch in there, and it wasn't even close when I was fitting it off the car. On either bumper, the one that came off this car and the one that came off the unwrecked car, the rear-wrecked car. Neither of those were engaging, so what I did was I took my torch and just ran it over here real quick and just a little bit of a bend into it so that when it engages, it kind of pushes up on here. So I for sure should get my engagement that I'm looking for, so I'm going to tighten this down once again and see if that works or if I need to go a little bit more. As you can see, I went ahead and put in this tail light, and honestly, even with the damage, I've seen way worse cars driving around on the road every day. So this little thing, I'm not even going to worry about it. It doesn't hit.
How about that little fella? Oh, that little guy? I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
The hatch, when you close it, I think we'll be fine. I'm going to keep putting it together. I'm going to put my clips in here and get this gap good. We'll put the head or the tail light in and get that good, and then we will looks like we'll be moving on to the exhaust, because that looks alright. One thing I don't have is a heat gun. I am going to try to push it out, but I only have the MAPP gas torch that you can see right there. So I think that's a little overkill for what I'm doing here, so I may pick up a heat gun here in the near future so that I can take care of things like that. We'll get that pushed back out. I may try letting it bake in the sun and pushing it out. Should be able to get in there from the other side. Would have been easier doing it when it was off, but that is what it is. I don't think I'm going to take it back off. If I can get it to relax and come out, that's great. If not, it is what it is. So let's get back to getting this rear end put back together. So we got this whole rear end put back together. I'm gonna shut this so you can see. Yeah, so as you can see, we do need to, it is a little close there, so we are going to try to push this out so we can get this corner down, because it is very close to the hatch and we don't want that to touch. But everywhere else, even with the little ding, it's all looking pretty decent. So like I said, we're not going to sell it at a premium price because it's not in great shape. I mean, it's in good shape. It's going to run great, give somebody a great car for a long time. But it's just going to be a 20-footer. Because the bumper's kind of the same way, the front bumper. Kind of the same way. I mean, it's got a little bit of this and that, but overall, it's in good enough shape to use it. So that's what we're going to do. What else? I don't have a heat gun. I'm going to probably go get one of those. And then, what else? Yeah. I guess we will move on to the exhaust. Because as far as I'm concerned, the back area is done. Oh, there's a hole, so I can use a pick to pull it out. That's okay. So let's move on to the exhaust. So what our plan is for the exhaust is we need to cut what's under there. I think I'm going to do it here. So I think that's a long enough straight piece, and there's enough space that this won't be in the way. So I'm going to cut it there, somewhere in the center on the piece that's under there, because right now it's cut off here. I wanted to give myself as many options as possible, because this is pretty close, so I think I'm going to put it here. I think that's the best option. So this really shouldn't take too long. I'm going to cut this piece now and then get under there and cut roughly the same spot. I'm just going to guess somewhere in the middle, because if it's a little longer, a little shorter, I'd prefer a little longer than shorter, but honestly, it's going to be in here. It doesn't really matter a whole lot, but then we'll have to start it and see if we have any leaks. Which then we'll just adjust it, either loosen these and push them together so that there's no gap anymore, or what we got to do depending on if we have a gap or not. All because they made me cut the catalytic converter off from the junkyard. But with that being said, let's get to it so I can get this exhaust out of my way. Alright guys, we used our Sawzall. Got our piece all cut out that we wanted, and already put our safety face mask back, so we don't need this. What I'm going to do is, how do we get out of this? I'm going to grab both clamps, which one is here, the other one I still haven't taken out of the box. So we're going to do that. Grab the other one here. Sorry about swinging you around a little bit. We're going to grab this guy. Alright, so what we're going to do here is take this out, put the battery in here, and because we're putting these overlapping, so butt joints, underneath, they have to be at least fed onto the pipe at the same time or ahead of time, or else you'll never be able to get them on. You'll have to unscrew all the way here and completely undo the clamp, which if I can avoid it, I would like to avoid it. So with that being said, we already got our pipe or our catalytic converter cut off, so we should be good on that. It's a 15 on one side and a 14 on the other. I'm going to put the 14 on the bottom because I can hit it with the impact. So what we're going to do here, and hope you can see it, because honestly, pretty dark under here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here or not, but we're gonna do it real quick here. So what I'm gonna do is take one end, make sure my orientation is how I'd like it, set it over this pipe. I'm gonna do the same thing with the pipe on this side over here. This one doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna go this way so that when I pull this guy in here, get it the correct orientation. Here. So that's okay, we got a little bit extra here. Use that side. Kind of hold it. Oh man, it's times like this I would lift. What we're gonna do is, see how we have a little bit of overlink. That's okay. All we're gonna do is extend them out. Now my issue is going to be that my pipes are not cut exactly the same, and one is really not very straight. But we're going to do this. I'm going to take this, my 14, slip on here. Now what we're going to do is, with this, we are going to just run these down to fairly tight. Oh, that sucks. So I went based on what the internet had told me the pipe size was, and it looks like I don't have the correct pipe size, which is a major bummer. Damn, that sucks. Just make sure that both sides are not like that. Nope, I have both of them are the wrong size. Well, crap. So, suppose what I'm going to do now, let's just tighten and see what we get here. Maybe be able to adjust these. Or maybe not. Yeah, that one's still got some tightening left to it. Let's see. Let's just tighten them down, because either way. Can't get my hand in there to hold it. So we're going to have to measure those. That's a bummer. So we're going to have to measure this pipe, and this pipe is clearly, this pipe is larger, so this one will probably work. So I'm going to need one more of the other guy on the other side. Well, it looks like I need to get the smaller size for both, which really sucks. But it is what it is, that's part of it. It's clearly, as you can see here, I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but it does size down right there, which I never noticed, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. I'm gonna get probably a size down because I can definitely use a smaller size in the back, probably 2 sizes. So, with that being said, guys, we only have one more thing left to do today that we can really get done. And that is to plastic weld these little tabs on the bumper. So, as you can tell, see if it's this side. It is not, that side looks good. But right here, our welds, plastic welds have come off. See where it's separating in there? But we want that to be in, so I'm just gonna re-weld these little tabs with some plastic weld that I picked up. A little plastic welder, Harbor Freight, and I'll do the same thing. I'm going to fix this little section, or just make it a little bit more robust. As you can see, it's broken on that side, so we're going to fix that. We'll run some down the middle of this here and reinforce that a little bit, but of course we're going to clean it and everything first. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, let's get to it. tried out this plastic welder. I went through almost a whole stick, and it seemed to work pretty good. I got something there, kind of a little more reinforcement. So it looks pretty good. I got this gap all closed up. I got this all reinforced. That's still a little flat, and I filled in this hole here. I don't know if anybody's ever used one before or not, but I just wanted to share kind of how I thought it was the most effective. So basically, for example, if I wanted to close up this hole, I would melt the right side to where I wanted, and then I would take my iron and I'd basically pick where I wanted to cut my piece off, and I would melt through until I had this side and that side basically melted to the original piece, and then I would just kind of go back and forth in the middle until it became kind of melted into it. That was what worked the best for me. I feel like it gave it a little more strength. I did that a couple times here. I feel like it gave it a lot more strength. Basically, what you did is you got it where you wanted it, and you bridged your gap kind of as a stint, and then melted it into it. So your stint held it where you wanted it, and then of course you got to hold it where you want it until it kind of hardens, or else it'll just, here I had to push down to kind of close the two, close the gap towards the top. So I pushed down and it closed the gap. And I just waited until it cooled, blew on it a little bit, and look at it now. So I was not sure if that was too helpful for anybody or not, but I thought I'd share what worked for me in case somebody was struggling with it and was just not getting the results they wanted. So that's what worked for me. So please give it a try. But on that note, I think that's all I'm going to be able to do today because of my lack of success at the pull apart. And today is a 40% off weekend at the pull apart, so it's crazy busy. I drove by and people were parking on the lawn. So it's not even worth trying to bother with it, especially because what I want isn't there. So that's going to do it for this episode. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. If there's something specific you'd like to see, or a specific car you think you'd like to see, let me know, and I'll definitely try to find one. I'm game for whatever you guys would like to see. So I'll do my best to find whatever that is, with whatever kind of repair you'd like to see. Even if I have to mock something up, isn't actually going to fix it, I'm more than happy to help with that. So, like I said, if you like what you see, please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.